The Battle of Yavin solidified the Rebel Alliance as a legitimate threat to the Empire. Not only had the Empire's greatest creation been destroyed, but the Alliance openly defied the Imperial Navy by holding out on Yavin in the face of overwhelming odds, rather than retreating immediately. Thankfully for the Empire, Palpatine's next generation of war machines were nearing completion, the Executor Super Star Destroyers, 19-kilometer-long dreadnoughts which represented a sector's worth of firepower in a brazen display of Imperial power. The first of these ships, the Executor herself, was commanded by Lord Vader and used to drive the rebels off Yavin. It would then go on to form the heart of the most feared fleet in the entire galaxy, Death Squadron. Initially, Death Squadron was made up of the single dreadnought and 5 support Star Destroyers, the Conquest, Avenger, Stalker, Tyrant, and Vader's former flagship, the Devastator. After Yavin, the flotilla executed a plan designed by Thrawn, which would see the Empire move through the Outer Rim, destroying, without provocation, smugglers, pirates, and other members of the underworld, who may have been helping the Alliance or facilitating Alliance supply lines. The goal was to make it so that the stateless government could no longer function effectively, so that any flow of resources could be stopped, and most importantly, so that Alliance raids would become more manageable. The fleet also acted as an arm for the Empire in other ways, blockading and subjugating planets as needed, and pacifying non-Alliance threats. Death Squadron moved through the Outer Rim, brutally destroying space stations, leveling planets as it searched for the Rebel fleet. While Vader was not able to capture and destroy the Alliance in a single battle, 9 months after the Battle of Yavin, he secured victory at Deep Space Besh, destroying a number of key Alliance capital ships. Death Squadron also found enough clues to allow Thrawn's uncanny pattern recognition abilities to narrow Alliance headquarters to the western reaches of the Outer Rim. Once there, the probots of Death Squadron would eventually discover the Rebel base on Hoth, and the fleet would move in to attack the planet. Death Squadron had been growing throughout its Outer Rim campaigns, and by this point had picked up several new ships, including at least 4 more Imperial Star Destroyers, a Victory Star Destroyers, and most likely several support craft. However, it was also essentially a roving fleet of the Empire's best. Attached to Death Squadron, besides Vader of course, was General Veers' Blizzard Force, a legion of the 501st, and one of, if not the greatest fighter squadrons in the galaxy, the 181st, led by famed pilot Soontir Fel. The Battle of Hoth, of course, was not the curb stomp the Empire hoped for, as I've discussed in prior video, but was still a terrible blow against the Alliance. After Hoth, Death Squadron continued to hunt the Alliance through the galaxy, tracking the Falcon to Cloud City, then later continuing to lead raids while also protecting secret Imperial projects. As the Death Star 2 neared completion and the station's plans were intentionally leaked to the Rebel Alliance, Vader and Death Squadron were recalled to Endor and designated as the Emperor's new defense fleet. At this point, Death Squadron's numbers swelled as other assets were pulled from across the galaxy. Now, with a total of 33 Star Destroyers, 2 battle cruisers, several Tector Star Destroyers, support ships, and of course, the Executor herself. Endor, of course, was a total disaster, and Death Squadron's power was halved. The fleet lost the Dreadnought, one of the battle cruisers, 15 Star Destroyers, and other support vessels. Formal command of the fleet moved to Admiral Pelion in the Chimera, who fled Endor. Some of Death Squadron's Star Destroyers would move on with Pelion and later serve Thrawn during his campaign, while others defected to Imperial warlords or were captured by the New Republic. Still, despite how Death Squadron fizzled out and lost its unity after the Battle of Endor, it was one of, if not the, most powerful fleets ever assembled up to that point. It wreaked havoc on the Outer Rim, and perhaps more than any other Imperial asset, was actually successful at hunting the Alliance. It was an effective and brutal arm of both the Emperor and Vader. The Star Destroyers of Death Squadron were some of the most prestigious in the galaxy. Many, including the Chimera and the Tyrant, which would be later named Rebel Dream, would go on to play major roles in galactic history. But that's all I have for you guys today. Before we leave, however, I would like to answer a question that one of you guys asked me in a previous comment section. Henry Sackett asks, in canon, did the Republic or Empire, especially Republic, ever actually start cloning other genetic sources than Jango Fett? Unfortunately, I don't know the answer for canon. However, I think most likely we will find non-Jango clones. That was certainly the case in Legends legends. We know from the Revenge of the Sith Incredible Cross-Sections guide that the Republic was introducing non-Jango clones for specialized roles like starfighter pilots. However, the Empire took this to the extreme. They used perhaps hundreds of genetic templates, several different cloning procedures, all to find clones that were cost-effective and cheap. Now, I would like to do a whole video on this, so if you guys want to hear a lot more about this idea, let me know down in the comment section. Also, if you have a question you'd like me to answer at the end of one of my videos, make sure to leave it down below with the hashtag AskEck. Anyway, as I said, that's all I have for you guys. If you'd like more of my content, make sure to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and everything else I linked down in the description. Until I see you guys next, this has been EckhartsLadder. May the Force be with you.